Happy St. Patrick's Day. This is Matt from Jaggers Brewing Co. And I'm with my buddy
Tim from St. Otter Brewing and Hops and Wrenches and all the other fun stuff.
Yeah, his link to the channel will be in the description, as will be the recipe for this beer. So this is Irish Stout 2023 edition. And this all started off with a Livestream Brew day that was kind of epic.
Oh, sorry, I was having a flashback moment there.
So if you're interested, go check out that live stream. That link will be in the description as well. That was a long and tedious brew day.
I think they actually cut us off at one point.
Yeah, we had all kinds of technical difficulties with this beer, though brewing and actual technical difficulties. I don't know exactly what happened. Kind of going back through my head, I was mentally taking pictures of what transpired, and I think we probably had a few different things that happened there. I think maybe there was a malt quality issue. Maybe we weren't right on top of the mash temperature schedules and stuff like that.
You weren't looking at it enough.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at it enough. You'll have to pardon some of the ambient noise. Apparently, my neighbor decided it was a good time to run a sawzall, and the chickens decided it's a good time to complain. So, anyways,
it's always a good time to complain when you're a chicken,
right? So, without further ado, though, this is the 2023 edition of the Irish Stout. Last year's was phenomenal. Let's go in here and do the whole smell, taste, appearance thing. So for appearance, I mean, it's really, really dark. It's about what you would expect out of a stout, I feel like.
About 530 motor oil. It's good quality.
Fairly jet black. You can see some little bit of brown garnets in there. It's got a decent white head. I think my CO2 tank was running a little low today, so there is that. So on the nose, what do you get?
Like coffee.
This recipe's kind of known for a little bit of coffeeness, and that's, you know, all those dark malts, a little bit of the rye.
Coffee and, like, you know, dark fruits.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit of earthiness.
Some smoke is coming through.
That's weird because there's no smoke malt.
I know. Maybe that's just my brain. I don't know.
I kind of get like a sweet cream smell almost. Nice medium high mouthfeel. Not overly thick though or anything like that.
It's very like a nice rich creamy feel to it.
Yeah. But not
decadent,
viscous.
Almost. I don't know who out there doesn't like the word decadent, but trigger warning, I guess.
So right away, I think that chocolate coffee taste hits you, and then you get a little bit of that rye spiciness, the earthiness.
It's kind of like a dark spiced rum, sort of.
Okay, I see
texture and flavor to it.
I see where you're heading with that.
I'm thinking of one in particular right now. I'm trying to remember what it is. It's got an octopus on it. Kraken.
Okay.
It's kind of reminding me of that a little bit. Just not with the alcohol burn.
So this, if I remember correctly, I think this is a little bit thinner than last year's. Sadly, you didn't really get a chance to taste last year's. Last year's was I felt like a lot darker. It had a lot more character to it. This brew day though, we missed some numbers and stuff like that, so I had to end up boiling a little bit longer to kind of achieve those original gravities that we were shooting for. We had to extend the boil on.
while.
Yeah, well, one of them we ended up boiling for probably about an hour longer, I think. Mm-hmm. And then the other one was a short 30-minute boil. But so what we did was, because at that point in time, I didn't have the ability to do 10 gallons at one time. I've recently got a new kettle, so I'll be able to do that now. But we had to basically do 2 batches, 2 5-gallon batches. What I ended up doing after you left was I fermented each batch separately, you know, because we chilled them, right? Mm-hmm. And so I kept them separate, and then after fermentation was done, I blended both batches together because one turned out to be a little bit lighter, the other one turned out to be a little darker than the other, so just to get a good consistency of what was going on there. They both started and ended at the same OGs and FGs, so that was good. But I kind of feel like I missed the mark a little bit. But the idea behind doing 10 gallons was, first and foremost, was I wanted to have plenty of this beer to drink for St. Patrick's Day. And then I wanted to take one batch and split it into 2.5-gallon batches and do some extra additions to those. So be on the lookout for that video. That'll be coming soon. That'll be pretty fun.
Some super sneaky stuff going on.
I don't think I hit it too well, but it's exciting for sure. I can't wait to get you involved on some of those taste tests on those. I actually took a sneak peek at them yesterday, and I haven't really talked about them to anybody because I'm curious of what you'll pick up on them as far as the taste and aroma and all that. But secondly, though, because we had all that grain left over, we decided kind of almost at the last minute, we discussed it about the day, maybe 2 days before brew day. We did an experiment with a party guile on that, and of course that's part of the 12 hours that this fine upstanding home brewer was over here to do. That was a little bit nerve-wracking, kind of doing some like last-minute adjustments because we didn't really have a plan. We didn't know what to expect for the starting gravity on that one or anything like that, and I ended up taking some last-minute decisions with some hops on it, and I think that one turned out well. So my deal with that was, though, is I have a follower and a subscriber. His name is Maro, and you know, I was chatting with him, and so he kind of pushed me to do this idea. He got to name the beer, which is Chimera. So be sure to look out for that video coming soon. I would say, though, out of this beer, let's give it a 1 to 10. I'll let you go first.
Are we doing separate for like nose and for flavor, and
no, let's not.
Just an overall.
Just an overall impression. Let's not.
If one is, I mean, you know, I've had better, and it was called Bud Light, and 10 is just whoa. You know, I'm gonna go with a solid 8.5 on it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And
really?
it's definitely I'm really big on the dark beers and stuff like that. And very few people brew them, so to actually have a nice dark beer again is really good. And I mean, just absolutely love the coffee notes. And you know what? I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna just round it up to a 9. So.
So
it's definitely one of those. It's like the longer you kind of just let it sit and do its thing, the flavor profile starts to build up a little more. You start getting a little more dark chocolate notes, and just like I keep going back to like plums and things like that, like dark fruits. And
yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good comparison. I think it gets more interesting the more it warms up, for sure. It becomes a lot more expressive with those chocolate and the kind of fruity esters. I didn't temperature control this one, so it just fermented whatever pretty much ambient temperature was, which is normally about 72, 75 around here, you know. So I'm kind of happy with this one. I know it can be better, so that's the biggest disappointment to me. You know, generally I think like last year to me it was a 9 or a 10 beer out of 10. This year I kind of feel like, and here again I have my own preference because I know what last year's was tasted like.
I don't have really a base to go off of, so
I would say this is probably a 6 to 7. So I don't think we're terribly far off. But it's still good. It's drinkable. I know you took this recipe home after brew day. You have any plans on trying to brew this?
I probably will at some point. Right now I'm working on a historical beer category deal that you know, I was hoping that to kind of keep a little more low key so that I can sneak in on the competition and be like, yeah.
I saw the picture you posted. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's the word's out, so it's like whatever.
Right. Well, I'm excited for you. Though,
it looks great. Yeah. It smells weird, but it tastes amazing. So it's like it's a weird one. It's interesting. So I'm going to put that on my channel too for the taste testing. Once these bottles condition and
so what are we looking at? Probably about a month.
For bottle conditioning, I mean, I only did a 1 gallon batch. It's probably going to be like a couple weeks to condition them. In the meantime, though, this next weekend I'm going to actually do a 5 gallon batch. So that's going to be week and a half or so on fermentation on that. Because for this one, it recommends only a 10-day fermentation. So,
if I remember correctly, I think you're supposed to serve and drink that one fresh.
As fresh as you possibly can.
Yeah.
So I don't know if bottle conditioning is going to hamper it, or if it's just going to be better off in a keg because it's a fresher serve at that point. But we'll see.
Well, if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to my buddy's channel here. His name is Tim.
Please subscribe.
He's with Hops and Wrenches, and his brewery name is
St. Otter. That's right. The little guy just likes watching the world burn and enjoy the beer.
Well, cheers to everybody for hanging out. Again, happy St. Patrick's Day. We'll catch you next time. Cheers.
Hi.
What's up?